the president spoke to reporters and repeated his call for an investigation into Hillary Clinton and the Democrats after former DNC Chairwoman Donna Brazile claims the 2016 nomination process was manipulated in Clinton's favor.
You ought to look at Hillary Clinton, and you ought to look at the new book that was just put out by Donna Brazile, where she basically bought the DNC and she stole the election from Bernie. So that's what you ought to take a look at.
All right, to discuss it all, let's bring in Kevin Robillard of Politico. Kevin, the president was up and tweeting this morning. Donna Brazile definitely giving him a good deal of firepower to go after the Democratic Party. Let's break it down. What exactly did the former DNC chair claim?
She basically claims that when she took over the Democratic National Committee, she discovered evidence that the previous DNC regime, which had been led by Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, had sort of tilted the scales in favor of Hillary Clinton during the Democratic primary.
So we heard from Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and she says flat out that the process was rigged in Clinton's favor. What does this mean for the party as we sort of look ahead to the 2018 midterms? This is kind of the last thing I think that the party really needed right now.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, the key thing here is we have to be very careful when we say rigged.
Right.
Often, did the DNC, the staff at the DNC at that time, want Hillary Clinton to win the primary? Yes, they did. Do they actually have the capacity or the power to literally rig the election? No. And ultimately, 4 million more people voted for Hillary Clinton than voted for Bernie Sanders in these Democratic primaries. That's why Hillary Clinton won.
Right.
That said, the DNC did a whole bunch of things to help Hillary Clinton win. And looking forward, this fight, it's one that really gets certain progressive activists fired up. And it's one that, shuts Twitter down every time it happens. But it's not really clear that it's something that is going to really hinder the party heading into 2018, just because it's not clear that any of the party's 2018 candidates really want to start fights about it or really care or really are going to let it divide the party. Even in Democratic primaries that are emerging where you have a Bernie Sanders supporter on one side and a Hillary Clinton supporter on the other side, they're not fighting about this. They're arguing about issues. They're arguing about what you would typically expect two people in a primary to argue about. That said, the Democratic Party still has issues with its brand. It still has issues with sort of coordinating its message.
Yeah.
None of that helps them.
Yeah, and let's sort of clarify what these accusations are, because Donna Brazile says that beyond an arrangement to finance the Democratic Committee, which also, with that arrangement came the agreement that they would, that Hillary Clinton's campaign would then have oversight over who was hired. Donna Brazile says she didn't see anything else beyond that to indicate that the party was working and bending the rules specifically to help Hillary Clinton become the nominee.
Yeah, they weren't. And so one thing also, I feel like this is an important thing to note.
Yeah.
The president keeps calling for the Justice Department to investigate the DNC. The DNC is a private organization. It ultimately can pick its presidential nominee however it sees fit. Right. And it's not clear that anything even remotely illegal happened here.
Precisely, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think what you're saying, that there's no real evidence that they really put their thumb on the scale for Hillary. I mean, they definitely did things that were designed to help Hillary Clinton win. The most obvious of these was Debbie Wasserman Schultz scheduled these debates originally at times where it didn't really seem like anyone would watch. And some of those debates ended up being pretty highly rated anyway. But clearly, there wasn't really a plan to have this open primary process. They wanted to, coronate Hillary Clinton and get on with the general election.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the president's tweets this morning. One of them, everyone is asking why the Justice Department and FBI isn't looking into all of the dishonesty going on with crooked Hillary and the Dems. And talking to your sources on Capitol Hill, is there any real appetite among Republicans for an investigation of this kind into Clinton?
No, not really.
Yeah.
You'll occasionally see some very Trump-friendly Republicans talk about, we should investigate Hillary. There is some appetite for investigation of, different people in the Democratic Party, particularly some of the lobbyists who have been sort of caught up in the Russia scandal so far, as it relates to Paul Manafort, but nothing really specifically of Hillary.
What do you think the president's tweeting like this right now? I mean, I know this is his sort of thing, and when I saw the Donna Brazile article, I thought, well, this is sort of feeding right into what he's been tweeting about all along, but he certainly has other things to tweet about.
Yeah, so one of the most amazing things about this is the president is sending out all these messages this morning about both this and about ISIS, when really what he could be talking about is the fact that an unemployment report came out today, and unemployment is the lowest it's been since 2000. But he's not talking about that. That's a great talking point for him.
All right.
But instead, he's very focused on an election that he already won and that ended nearly a year ago.
Right.
So it is somewhat baffling why he continues to do this, but this is his MO. And he knows that talking about Hillary Clinton will get his base fired up. He knows it's red meat for Fox News. He watches Fox News all the time, and sort of there's a feedback loop there. So I think really this is all just sort of his MO. It's what he does now, try to keep the focus on the woman he defeated.